My parents said they couldn't afford to take me on vacation. Then I saw my sister's kids in first class. I didn't say a word, but a week later, they weren't smiling anymore. I've always been the other sibling, not the golden child, just there. My sister Caitlin was the shining star, perfect daughter, loving wife, doting mother. I was Daniel, the one who worked hard and always had extra money when the family needed it. It started small, help with the electricity bill. Then Caitlin needed money for Jonah's braces, car repairs, school supplies, credit card debt. The requests never stopped. "You're so lucky," Mom would say. "You don't have responsibilities like Caitlin does." Lucky, that's what they called it. There was one thing I'd always wanted, to travel. But every time I got close, something came up. A family emergency, a guilt trip. So when I finally booked my trip to Italy, I told no one. I was at the airport in economy boarding when I heard Caitlin's voice. "No, Jonah, put your backpack down. The seats are huge." I turned. Caitlin, my niece and nephew, my parents, all in priority boarding, matching vacation outfits, first class. Then I heard Mom laugh. "I still feel bad we couldn't take Danny." "Please," Caitlin snorted. "He wouldn't have fit in." Laughter. I didn't say a word, just watched them board, completely unaware I'd seen everything. That moment flipped a switch in me. Italy was beautiful. Ancient streets, tiny cafes, the Colosseum at sunset, everything I'd dreamed of. But at night, sitting alone on my hotel balcony watching the city lights, those words kept echoing. He wouldn't have fit in. They hadn't just excluded me. They'd been laughing at me for years. When I landed home, Mom called within hours. "Hey, sweetheart, could you help with groceries this month?" I laughed, sharp and bitter, and asked if she meant the groceries she bought after flying first class. The silence on the other end said everything. No apology, no guilt, just the slow realization she'd been caught. "We didn't think you'd mind," she finally said. That's when I decided. No more bills, no more helping out, no more being the family ATM. Caitlin called 2 days later, angry that I was too good to help family now. When she started her usual manipulation, "You don't have kids, you don't have real expenses," I reminded her I just paid for Jonah's soccer fees last month. "Well, yeah, because you always do." "Not anymore." I hung up. My phone exploded with messages. "Mom, Daniel, this is not okay. We're family. Families help each other." "Dad, son, don't overreact. You know your sister and the kids need your help. Do the right thing." "Caitlin, are you actually ignoring Mom and Dad? Wow, you really think you're better than us now?" I ignored every single one. Then came the panic. Mom texted about the house. They were behind on the mortgage and needed help. When I called, she asked me to cover it, just this month. I pointed out the irony, affording first class but not their mortgage. She tried the old line about not understanding what it's like to have real responsibilities. "You're right," I said coldly, "because I was too busy taking care of yours." She went quiet, then softer. "Danny, we need you." "I know, but you'll have to figure it out without me." I hung up. 3 days later, Caitlin appeared at my door, furious that she was now stuck dealing with our parents' financial crisis. She tried to dismiss it as me throwing a tantrum over the vacation. I let her finish. Then I explained what she'd never bothered to understand. For years, I'd kept this family afloat while being treated like I didn't exist unless they needed money. Then I saw them all in first class, laughing about how I wouldn't fit in. "I was never part of this family," I said. "I was just your safety net, and I'm done." The color drained from her face. She grabbed her purse and left, telling me not to come crawling back. Dad called a week later, accusing me of abandoning the family over a stupid vacation. I told him this was about years of being taken for granted. When he said Caitlin needed help, I gave him 3 words. "Not my problem." "Be reasonable," he demanded. "I am." For the first time in my life, after a long silence, his voice turned cold. "So you're just walking away? You walked away first, at the airport, remember?" He hung up. That was the last time we spoke. Over the next month, I heard through mutual friends that everything had collapsed. Caitlin and her husband sold their house and moved somewhere smaller. My parents downsized, forced to let go of the comfortable life they built on my back. I blocked all their numbers. The guilt I'd expected never came. Instead, I felt lighter than I had in years. Finally, I was living for myself, and it felt incredible.